Hey, everybody. What's going on? I hope we are ready for a great class today. Who's going to be the first one in class today? Got two people in. Okay, we moving. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for cooking with Chef Ken today. Hey, Auntie. What's up, Miss Hannah? How are you? Auntie, you ready for a good class? You prepared? Did you follow your cooking prep list? Your prep sheets? Hey, Talisha. All right, Talisha. Today is really going to see how far you've grown. We're going to take this to the next level today. Auntie says she's ready. Hey, Ellie. Hey, Michelle. How are y'all today? Y'all ready? Y'all prepared? Toya, how you doing? Did you find those scallops, Toya? Hey, cousin Janae, how are you? Everybody's on time and everybody's ready. I like it. So we're going to give a few more minutes before I give the rundown. What's going on, H? How many people are you cooking for today? Kimberly Robbins is on. That's strange. She's supposed to be over here helping me. Michelle says she's ready. Hey, Monique. I'm still ready for that spades game. Ellie says she's ready and prepped. All right, so I'm going to give you a quick rundown. And I know I'll repeat it 2 or 3 times before. Yeah, Marcus, we're doing risotto today. I told them since I took my break, we'll come back cooking a little more different, a little more extensive. So we're going to try them out today, see how they do. So on my stove and on your stove, what I want to have is three skillets. Only just 4 people tonight. Nice. Hey, Sharakia. And then I have my little sauce pot back here with my stock that we are keeping warm. Hey, Tracy. Those crab cake looked amazing. And then over here, I have my spices, my seasonings, my wine. Because I got a feeling y'all going to need a lot of wine breaks today. And then the rest of our mise en place. So my minced garlic, my frozen peas, my shrimp, my button mushrooms, fresh thyme, my scallops. Okay, so for those who you thawed your scallops out, if they still have moisture or sitting in water, let's make sure we are draining them so that we get all the moisture off. So if your scallops are not dry or they're sitting in water, put them in a colander or a strainer, and let's try to get all that moisture off of them. We will pat them dry and season them before we put them in the pan. And hopefully everybody got a pretty good sized scallop. If you just got the tiny bay scallops, we will just incorporate that into the risotto with the shrimp. Hey, Ryan, what's going on, buddy? And we won't pan sear those separately. My tomato, my arugula. Hey, mother-in-law, did you get all your stuff today? And this is my pre-prepped, par-cooked risotto. So, once again, my mise en place is right here. Hey, Shell. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining. Please make sure you like, share, and comment. On the stove, I have 3 skillets or saute pans, depending on your preference, your verbiage. And then back here, I have the rest of my stock that we did not use during the prep video. We have that on low, remaining warm. So I want your stove to look like that. I want to make sure your mise en place is all out on your counter. You got a cutting board. Well, for most of you guys, did all your cutting yesterday or this morning. I like to do mine during the class. That gives you time to catch up. I do have my Pinot Grigio that we've used for cooking. I'll be drinking the rest because you guys will need some wine breaks today. So I just want to make sure you guys remain calm. Communicate. Let me know if we need to slow down, if you have any questions. And we're going to have a good class. So give me 2 minutes. I want to make sure everybody has your pans on your stove, your mise en place pulled out. I want to make sure your scallops are draining to make sure you get all that moisture off. So you got 2 minutes to make sure you have everything. We're going to get started.
Hey, Mika. Hey, Cam.
Thank everybody once again for joining the class. And if you have not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe. We will post a link. And every time we do our cooking channel videos, we post those to the YouTube channel from now on. So thank you for those who have subscribed. If you haven't, shame on you.
You've already gotten a "you're scaring me."
From who?
Auntie Kim.
Yeah, Auntie, we're going to get going today.
That's for you, Auntie Kim.
I'm going to pour my first little wine break glass. Everybody confident? Everybody in a good spot? Give me thumbs up.
Hey, Kathy.
We got about 1 more minute before we get going.
If we have baby scallops, what did you say to do?
So if you have the baby scallops or bay scallops, what they're called, we will not pan sear those in a separate. Incorporate that with the shrimp and cook those into the risotto. So the shrimp is going to go into the risotto, and the scallops, depending on your size, will be on the outside of the plate. If you have the tiny bay scallops, they will go into the risotto. Daddy, wake it up. So, once again, that's one of the first children up. What's going on, Millie Rock? How are you? Yeah. So, all right. I've turned my first pan on. Okay, Michelle, I see you have the sea scallops. Nice. Turn my first pan on medium-high heat. I'm going to get about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And we're going to start with our mushrooms and shrimp. You'll make sure that the oil gets nice and hot to where it starts creeping around the pan. While we're doing that, I'm going to cut my mushrooms. And today I decided to bring out my Santoku knife, a little 6-inch Japanese chef knife. And slice my mushrooms while waiting on my pan to get hot. Like I said, if you follow the prep procedures, you did all this yesterday. More than enough. So I got my mushrooms chopped up. My oil's starting to get hot. Just make sure that pan is well seasoned. We're gonna add in our shrimp. And for 2 people, we'll do about 5 shrimp each. So 10 shrimp going into the pan. Yeah, a little greedy sometimes.
Hey, Georgette.
Pan's not nearly hot enough.
Ooh.
Start right there.
Chef's pan wasn't hot, y'all.
First mistake. Right. I need a wine break, chef. There we go. Got that going. Once again, depending on how many people you're feeding, we're doing 5 shrimp per person.
I thought you said to cut shrimp into thirds. Chef
Yes.
is...
Yes.
Call him out, y'all. Call him out.
I'm going to cut mine after it's cooked. Go ahead and add yours now.
So y'all are okay. Janae, Toya, Auntie Kim,
Y'all said that quick.
I mean, quick.
Man. This was quick.
So yes, y'all, they are supposed to be cut. Janae said, "Don't scare us like that."
Sometimes I forget what I put in.
Oh, thank you for watching us, Georgette. She's not cooking tonight, but she had to come and watch.
Well, thank you. Glad to have you. Appreciate that loyalty. All right. Mine are cut into thirds now.
All right, y'all, we ready now. Bubba Martin said, "What up?"
What's going on, buddy? Great showing this weekend. Wish I was down there. All right. And once your shrimp start to turn pink, to get a good color, we're going to add in our sliced mushrooms. About a cup. And a little bit, about a half cup of our clam juice. So we infuse that nice seafood flavor.
So that was a half a cup of clam juice, guys.
So I'm gonna keep cooking this down till the mushrooms are soft.
If you have not done so already, please, please, please like and share.
We're gonna season lightly with kosher salt, seasoned pepper, which is just our substitute for black pepper, and then a little bit of Old Bay. Get that flavor in there.
No, just a half a cup of the clam juice.
So now I'm going to add in a tablespoon of garlic. We're just going to let that just simmer.
Half a cup. Right.
How we feeling, everybody? Feeling good? Feeling confident? Not too much too yet. Too fast.
Marissa, it's her first time cooking with us.
Hey, welcome. We got a newbie, y'all. We all know that feeling. So take your time. If we get too far ahead, Marissa, just let us know. Type in wine break, and we will slow down. I'll cut off the pans, and I'll sip on some nice Pinot Grigio today. All right, that's looking good. Let that cook for about 1 more minute.
Are you cooking medium high?
Yes. How are we doing so far? All right.
Yes, just kosher salt and seasoned pepper.
And Old Bay.
Oh, and Old Bay. How much of each?
Just a taste, so I'll probably say half a teaspoon of each. I'm gonna remove that shrimp off the heat. I'm gonna leave the heat on.
Let me show y'all that.
We don't want our shrimp to get too tough. Let it sit in that clam juice. Now we're gonna bring up our second pan. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And this is gonna be for the risotto. So all that prep in that 24-minute video that you had to watch is it through. Now it's when it's coming into play. So make sure the olive oil gets nice and hot before we add our risotto into the pan. I'm preparing my thyme and my diced tomatoes. Pulling the leaves off the stem. Okay, we got a wine break. Oh, that's good. It's been a few weeks since we had a glass of wine with our dinner. So cheers. Thank you guys once again for cooking with Chef Ken. We definitely appreciate the support and the learning aspect of this. It's been a nice journey. We've enjoyed this tremendously, so thank you guys. So does your shrimp and mushrooms look nice and moist and succulent like this with the minced garlic very visible? If not, take your time. You want to make sure your shrimp is a bright pink color. You want to make sure that we cook it all the way through. Any questions so far? How are you feeling? Good, good, good.
How much seasoning did you add again?
I'll say it's seasoned to taste, so your preference, but I did probably about 1/2 teaspoon of each.
How much garlic?
Tablespoon.
So a tablespoon of garlic. Thank you for sharing, Auntie. He has not added anything to the second pan yet.
We have about 1 more minute.
He's just letting his pan get hot. Only thing he added in there was olive oil.
Just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. You don't want nothing swimming in there because we're about to add risotto to a hot pan. It's gonna sizzle pretty fast. So we're gonna add our warm stock as quickly as we can. So I'm just preparing my fresh thyme.
How's everybody doing? Are we good? Are we ready to move on?
And if your pan's getting too hot, please remove it from the heat. Just set it to the side or an empty space on the stove. We do not want to scorch our food. So we'll give y'all 30 more seconds. Allow me to keep picking through this time. Really good time. All right. So now we are going to add in our risotto. Let that spread. We're adding 1/2 ladle. I'm sorry, 1 full ladle or 1/2 cup. And you see how fast that liquid got absorbed already because of the hot pan and the cold risotto. So that's why we'll add another ladle or 1/2 cup. So where we stopped off with the risotto yesterday, we were probably about 5 to 6 minutes out on having fully cooked risotto. And to do this today for 30 minutes of stirring rice in a pan, or like my wife calls it, fancy rice. It'll be a little tedious and time consuming and not the funnest class. So that's why we elected to go ahead and par cook it. And as you see, as we're cooking risotto, every time we add liquid to it, we're cooking it all the way out. You don't see no moisture. And if your risotto has a different tint to it or a different hue, that's fine. It just depends on the type of stock you used. So that may vary between dishes. That's perfectly fine.
Good, Marissa. She said her fruit smells good.
Fabulous. That's the first step. So as you see, like we talked about in the video, that we are scraping down, we're scraping down the sides of the pan. It just makes sure that nothing's sticky to the bottom. As you can see, you see the starch right here kind of cutting through. That's what you see right there releasing. And that's what's making it thick. As the rice breaks down, it releases more starch, and that's what makes it bind together. True risotto is not made with any cream. So if people tell you they make risotto, and they say, yeah, I add heavy cream, just laugh. Because they're not making real Italian style risotto. So once your risotto is getting thick, we're gonna add in another half cup. And at this point, we should have about enough for one more ladle.
What can we use in place of stock?
Why are you not using stock? Is that something you don't have, or a preference, or diabetic reasons? Because you could be able to make your own stock by cooking down onion, celery, and carrots with water and some fresh herbs. And you can use it. You can use that. So now that we're getting really close, you can start to see the grains of the rice are starting to grow. They're getting thicker. So it's absorbing that liquid and moisture. It's releasing that starch. And we're looking good on our risotto. So we'll let that sit for about one more minute. I'm gonna chop my fresh thyme and my tomatoes.
I have a little too much liquid.
Okay, just let it keep cooking out, and then the next round, don't add so much, because we're still gonna have to add some liquid from that clam juice and mushrooms and shrimp. So if you feel like it's too thick or too thin, just let it keep reducing, because we're about to taste it and see where we're at with it, because you might be fine, might not need to add no more. So that's our fresh thyme.
The shrimp. What did you do with the shrimp?
It's still sitting right beside me in the pan.
He just took it off of the heat and set it to the side.
And so one good thing, or one reason why we always say keep stirring your pan, is because that starch in there, it starts to stick. As you can see, it's starting to kind of stick a little bit, get a little tough at the bottom, and that's how you start to get scorching. So that's the main reason why we say you always got to constantly move your risotto. You know, make sure
No,
you see
the shrimp should not still be cooking. Take it off. If it's pink,
take it off the heat.
take it off the heat.
All right. So now we're gonna taste this. It's gonna be piping hot. So please blow. You want your rice to have a little bit. You want your rice to have texture and body, and not that chalky crunch that we had yesterday because it was undercooked. So if you still have that kind of crunch, or you think it's a little undercooked, just keep cooking it. If you need to add stock, go ahead. You should have about one more ladle, or just over half a cup. I'm gonna add maybe half of that ladle.
Bima, y'all good? Tamika, y'all good?
So we're gonna stir that beautifully in. And at this point, we're gonna add in a cup of the frozen peas. Our chopped thyme. And let that incorporate in as well. So now we're adding the color, some fresh herbs.
Here's the shrimp that he set to the side.
And as you see, by technique is I'm just grabbing it from the bottom, sliding it around the edges, and just kind of folding it in.
How much thyme did you add in?
Teaspoon, 2 or 3 sprigs, depending on how you want to measure it. And so the end result of risotto, you want nice texture. You want it thick enough to where it can stand up on a plate, because you know that presentation is very important to us. And of course, first and foremost, we want amazing flavor. So it should be coming together quite nicely. You should be able to kind of separate in the pan and not really fall back in. See, for me, that's a little loose. Keep kicking that down. All right. We're gonna season again. 1/4 teaspoon of seasoned pepper, light pinch of kosher salt, a light pinch of crushed red pepper, 2 for us, pinch of salt and pepper, pinch of crushed red pepper.
Yes, Marissa, add the thyme to your risotto. He added in the frozen peas and the thyme at the same time.
Correct. So I'm gonna turn mine off because I know you guys are gonna need a wine break in a second. Like I said, taste yours. And depending on how the rice tastes, you want good texture, you want some body to the rice. We don't want mush, but we don't want that chalky, raw grains taste that we had yesterday. So I'm letting mine sit right here before we add the shrimp and mushrooms in here. And then the Parmesan cheese, where it's gonna be kind of like a binder and add some great flavor. Sitting right there. So that's what my risotto looks like. That's what my shrimp looks like. And I'm gonna start dicing some tomatoes. If your knife don't cut like that.
Tell us again what you added to the risotto.
The seasoning or everything?
Let's just go through everything.
We added a cup of frozen green peas. We added a teaspoon of fresh thyme. We added a teaspoon of crushed red pepper, a teaspoon of kosher salt. No, sorry, a pinch of kosher salt, and half a teaspoon of seasoned pepper. Done chopping.
Mika, did that answer your question?
So I do have my pan off. You guys should be cooking on low. I know y'all still kind of cooking your risotto. And now I'm gonna add all of that shrimp and mushrooms to the pan of risotto. just gonna fold that in. Fold it in gently because that moisture will splash on you or on your stove and it's hot. I want to make sure nobody burns themselves. How is yours looking? How does it taste? Once again, this is your recipe. This is your dinner. This is your food. You should be constantly tasting and making the necessary adjustments to your dish. I'm only guiding you and give you the steps to make it better. So, risotto is beautiful. Great color. Great consistency. And once you feel like you're at a good spot, we're going to add in our Parmesan cheese. And we're going to start with half a cup of Parmesan cheese.
Good, Ellie. Just said hers looks and tastes delicious.
And so once you add that Parmesan cheese, I do want you to remove it from the heat and set it to the side. And we're going to get ready for our next part. So we're going to pull that to the side. And then our third pan. I know, guys. I know.
Dishes, man.
I know. Just about a tablespoon. You're going to make sure this is a good skillet that is either non-stick or you can really sear some good scallops on. But many of y'all requested about scallops. This is why we incorporated this in this dish as well.
Ellie said the cheese set it off.
So, get you some napkins or some towels, what you have ready available. And like I said, it's very important for a great sear on your scallops that we have them dry.
Hey, Quest.
So these aren't the most beautiful scallops, but they're affordable. It's just risotto.
Marissa, we haven't added the tomatoes yet. He
No.
was just cutting them.
And so for you guys, you can do 3 per person. 4 if you're a scallop lover. Make sure your pan is on medium-high heat. You're gonna make sure that that oil is, I'm not gonna say scorching hot, but you want a great sear immediately. So I'm taking my scallops, I'm just really patting them dry. Because wet scallops will produce a boiled look or it won't just get a great sear on there. So next, depending on if you got the sea scallops like this, now you have to remove the foot. So this is just a part, the muscle that attaches to the shell. So he's gonna pull that off. Many people feel like you can't eat this, but you can. But you do, for your sake of scallops, you wanna make sure you always remove that foot. Some of them won't always have them, but majority will. So it's easy to pull off. It's easy to identify. It's just that extra little piece that's hanging to the side of it. See, all of them won't have it. Majority will. All right, once you have done that, we're gonna season our scallops. Just salt and pepper. Both sides. Make sure that pan is nice and hot. You wanna feel the heat coming off of that. You don't want your grease smoking. We don't want smoke point hot, but you wanna make sure that we're gonna get a good sear. Excuse me. And if you have the base scallops right here, you're just gonna cook these the same way, but you're gonna incorporate that back into the risotto. As we're gonna put these on around the risotto. and on top. All right, so I've seasoned my scallop salt on both sides. We've removed the foot. We've patted dry. Our pan is nice and hot. And we just want to add that scallop right there in that grease. And if they're broken like that, just be careful picking them up because they will tear. But it's going to happen with frozen scallops. As you see, because of the way my pan kind of shaped, I'm staying on the outside of the pan and not really hitting the middle. So, what people really believe about scallops is, yes, you want scallops to be done, but you want to cook them to where they're opaque in the middle. Yeah, I was gonna do that. So you really want to cook it on one side to get a great sear. So you're cooking 3/4 on one side, and then you're finishing it on the bottom just to give a color to the pan. To the scallop. But you don't want to cook them well done in the pan because they will start to dry out, be tough. And tough scallops is probably what people have had in the past, or why a lot of people don't like scallops. So you want to cook them to about medium well, and they'll finish with carryover cooking. And when we talk about carryover cooking, that's just the heat from the pan still cooking the food item while it's still attached. So it's going to continue to still cook. So that's not bad, but we want a little bit longer. You want to start to be able to see that the color of the scallop is going to be white, probably about halfway up. And when you get to that point, that's going to be a great time to flip. All I'm doing is just making sure that we knew that was going to break. Just kind of moving around to make sure it stays in the hot spot of the saute pan. For the most part, they're not sticking. I know some of y'all sweating right now. Just breathe, take it easy, and just look at what you're doing. You'll start to see it. This is very raw still. Don't see any white around the scallop compared to this one. Started to get white on the edges and around the sides of it. So you can see the difference of that one compared to that one, still mostly tan. So at that point, just start to rotate your pan because your pan is cooking uneven.
Y'all okay?
There we go. That's a beautiful sear right there. Start to flip mine. That sucker right there, I knew it. And because they were wet, they were frozen. If they're starting to stick, just grab your tongs and just kind of slide up under there, ease it up under there, and it'll come up. So as you can see in this pan, same time. That one is way more done than these two over here. Like I said, your pan will cook slightly uneven. Is everybody all right?
I'm laughing at you grabbing that pan with your bare hands.
Oh, did I?
Yes, you didn't touch the handle.
So now I'm gonna cut the pan's at a great spot as far as heat. We're not cooking too much on the bottom, but cut your heat off, and we'll just let the rest of the heat of the pan continue to cook the scallops.
My aunt said Ken's hands is heat resistant.
Don't get her started, please.
He didn't even realize he did it. One of our little ones like that.
So I'm just checking out my risotto over here. Yeah, that looks good. That looks great. All right, we're looking on the scallops, y'all. That's gorgeous. That's what it should look like. But we do have a few that have kind of turned out not bad. Will taste amazing. But that one right there, he's the winner. That's the one, y'all. So, when you're touching your scallops, you want some bounce back, some give. You want to make sure that, as you can see, this is already broken kind of, so what you see is it's white all the way through. So now take your pan off. Now, we already cut the stove off, but now you want to take the pan off that heat so that pan will cool down a lot faster. And those beautiful scallops are almost done. How you feeling? Are you happy with your scallops? Turn out the way you wanted? All right. We're about 3 or 4 minutes away from being done, guys. Great job. You held it together. Your mom was completed making this classic Italian dish. You made it your own. You powered through it. I was gonna make sure you have tasted your risotto. It is the way you want it. It's a good spice.
Not too confident on the scallops.
What's wrong with the scallops? Undercooked, overcooked, color. What are you not happy with?
It's Marissa. So Marissa, if you can kind of describe to us what you're unhappy about, Chef can kind of walk you through how we can fix it.
How's everybody else doing?
It's her color.
Okay. For the first time I'm cooking scallops, we're not gonna make a big fit about the color of the scallops. Like I said, even mine, some of them, depending on the pan, it just really depends on your pan. You want a great nonstick pan, you can use a cast iron skillet. But as long as your scallops are cooked all the way through, they're a great seasoning for your first time. We won't make a big fuss about it, but we just know next time that we'll choose a better pan that's nonstick or that will give a better sear. So, like I said, I got 3 or 4 out of 8 or 9 that came out perfect. So it's not always gonna be like that, but we know how to cook these scallops. We're at a great spot, and it'll still be perfect on the plate.
So what should she look for to know that they are done?
We talked about it a few minutes ago, but they're nice and springy. They give some pushback. This one is cooked all the way through, but as long as they have that whiteness all the way through, you'll see nothing opaque. It's not like a thin line of raw scallop right there. It's white all the way through. You're good. Do not cook them past that. That's why we also removed it from the heat. Now, in your risotto, the tomatoes we're going to add, I have about a cup of tomatoes. I'm going to use half for now. And just fold that in. And we just want that acidity of the tomatoes to match with that wine. Also add some great color. We're going to take our arugula. We're just going to toss in a few leaves.
Marissa, you feel a little bit better?
And the heat from the rice will wilt that arugula down. Just adding some more vegetables and body to our risotto.
Good. She got pushback, so she knows that they are cooked.
Yep. All right, guys. So we have that. We're gonna take a little bit more arugula.
So pretty, y'all. Scallops.
And this is not for everybody. You don't have to. I'm gonna take some arugula. I'm gonna mix it in with some olive oil, kosher salt, seasoned pepper, and we're just gonna toss that right here in the bowl as a garnish for our dish. All right, now it's that time. Let's start plating. It's the crazy time for everybody. So because everybody's been stepping their games up, chefs and out and kind of investing in some different plates for the house, just to kind of stay up with the changing times. And we're gonna make 2 different plates again, like we usually do. So the first plate, we're just gonna pile it right in the middle of our. So we're gonna pile the risotto in the middle of our plate, nice and high. Nice and tight. No rice falling around the plate. No sauce. If it is, we tighten it up. We're gonna take our beautiful cedar scallops and we're gonna lay it slightly on the risotto and on the plate, excuse me. So this one's gonna get 4. Lay down. And for those who cook with the bay scallops or baby scallops, go ahead and take that and fold it into your risotto and just pile your plate up nice and high.
In the bowl, Toya, he did olive oil, kosher salt, and seasoned pepper.
I'm gonna take that arugula salad that we just kind of created. Pick a few leaves right on top. We're gonna take our Parmesan cheese. So sprinkle a little bit in my hand. Just sprinkle that right on top of that. And we're done with that first plate. Yeah, maybe a little olive oil. Olive oil on the plate. This looks real good. Just looks crazy. So that
Yes.
plate's done.
Mika, he did add arugula to the risotto. How much arugula did you add to the risotto?
Handful.
So he just added a handful in there. I don't know if you can still see that or not. Yes, Sienna, you missed scallops, girl. That's all right. Go to his YouTube. He'll post the video. There y'all go.
And then for the second plate, I'm gonna take my spatula. I'm just gonna make a nice tight line. Same thing, keeping everything together. Like my plate. And then we're gonna take the rest of my scallops or your scallops. I'm just gonna lay them right on top. Hey now. There. We're gonna take a few leaves for this one. Yeah, that's right on top. Like that. And the same thing. We're just gonna garnish it with a little bit of Parmesan cheese on that plate. And there you go. And now you have created your seafood risotto, guys. Congratulations. Thank you for being patient and cooking with us. And hopefully that we see some beautiful dishes. So please, plate. So thank you for joining us. So just make sure that you take a picture of your dish, post it, tag us, share the page. Once again, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube channel for Chef Ken, please go like the page, hit the bell, and subscribe. When we hit the bell, it just alerts you to notifications of different things that we have posted. We got a lot of upcoming events coming up. We got a lot of great things going on. So we appreciate you guys. I want to see those dishes. And if you've enjoyed this class, you like what we're doing here, please feel free to leave us a tip. Cash App is Chef Ken Rob. Once again, we thank you. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.